Well, good afternoon, everybody. What an exciting presentation from Brett. And without knowing each other, I think we are going to be touching on very similar topics as I talk about the future of computing today. First of all, I'd like to thank IS Bank for the opportunity to be here today and in some ways think about the bridges that connect the past with the future, science with art, and legacy knowledge with innovation. And I thought that as we think about the future of IS Bank, its next 100 years, and the collaboration that we have been able to achieve over the past 100 years, being both centenary organizations, I thought it was good to make a reflection. It would be important to make a reflection on what's going to happen with computing and the future of computing. Because everything that we talked about here in terms of possibilities, dreams, banking 5.0, it's only going to be available or able to be executed if we significantly enhance our computing capabilities going forward. So let's start. Today, we stand at the crossroads of revolutionary computing paradigms. First, classical computers. Classical computers have been with us for decades now. All of us have one, either in our desktops, our laptops, or on our mobile phones. Quantum computers, which are just starting to be launched, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about the progress we have been making in that platform. And finally, neural networks that really took the world by storm since the release of ChatGPT in November of 2022. Each one of those paradigms have its own opportunities, its strengths, its limitations, and its unique potential. Now, what's truly exciting is that we stand in a future where these capabilities, these technologies, are converging and collaborating to unleash computational power to levels that have unprecedented levels. And it's because of that capacity, it's because of that capability that we're going to see a major impact in industries, in science, and in society as a whole. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to talk about how these technologies are being integrated to create a powerful hybrid model, how this will impact industries and society, and what are the challenges that we'll need to overcome to make that vision a reality. Let's start with the classical computers, which have been the backbone of all the transformational changes that we have seen in our society over the past few decades. Those machines, they operate in a very simple system, zeros and ones. They are binary machines, which make them very good for deterministic tasks, solving structural problems, doing simple simulations, doing arithmetic operations, and they have been on the foundation of many of the breakthroughs that we have seen over the past few years. Let's remember that classical computers are the computers that allowed us to put the man in the moon. Now, supercomputers are really pushing the limits of what we can do with classical computers. They have been powerful to create new climate models, for example, or to do simulations in physics. But as powerful as you can design a supercomputer, classical computers have its limitations. To do complex simulations, to see, for example, understand, for example, how a molecule operates, what is the aspects of big data sets like the genomic and the DNA of humans, those machines are not designed to do that because, as I mentioned before, they operate in states of 0 and 1, and they can only have those states once at a time. So they struggle to do complex simulations, complex operations. And that's where quantum computers steps in to solve that challenge. Quantum computers are a completely different paradigm of information processing. They operate on the basis of quantum bits, qubits, that can have a 0 or 1 state simultaneously due to a quantum phenomenon called superposition. Also, you can, due to entanglement, you can link multiple qubits together to exponentially grow the computing space of a machine. They really promise to revolutionize fields like healthcare, sciences, and optimization, material science, drug discovery. If I could compare how a classical computer operates versus a quantum computer operates, think about being inside of a room, let's say a room surrounded by cabinets with thousands of drawers, and you are looking for one object that is in one of those drawers. While in a classical computer, you would need to open each one of those drawers to find the object, a quantum computer would open all those drawers at the same time. So you can do parallel processing at a much higher capacity, much faster than a classical computer. Now, as powerful as quantum computers can be and the promise that they represent, there are some challenges to make them work. First, they're extremely sensitive to noise. Second, you need some very specific methods and strategies for suppression and error mitigation. Now, significant progress has been made in developing quantum computers over the past few years. Last year, we finally could demonstrate that quantum computers do have the power and the capacity to solve problems intractable by classical computers, proving that we are entering the era of utility in quantum computing. And yesterday, we made another important announcement, improving the capacity of that system by 25 times, expanding our quantum capabilities in our research center in New York. Artificial intelligence, the third element of our hybrid model, of our hybrid structure. This has been, in our lives, I would say probably in the past 2 years. As I mentioned before, I think ChatGPT really made it very clear what you can do with artificial intelligence. And neural networks, they are a type of algorithm that pretty much mimics how the human brain works. And they are very good at identifying patterns, at making decisions in complex environments, at making predictions. They are excellent today and are being used today to do processing of tasks like image recognition or autonomous vehicle, natural language processing. Now, as powerful as AI can be, and we are seeing the advancements happening pretty fast, training large neural networks are resource intensive. They require tremendously large data sets, and they require significantly large computer capacity. And we are all watching over the past few months the demands that are going to be created in terms of infrastructure, and particularly energy capacity, to power the infrastructure that is going to be needed to train those systems going forward. So what is really revolutionary about artificial intelligence and neural networks is that this is the first technology in human history that learns by itself, that can improve over time in an autonomous way. That's what makes it so unique. So, understanding the potential of each one of them, but also its limitations, the question is, how can we bring those technologies together to build a cohesive future going forward? Let's look first at the combination of classical and quantum computers. Classical computers will continue to be the backbone of our day-to-day tasks, our day-to-day operations, running our software, doing our data processing. But when it comes to more complex operations, simulations, for example, if you are in a process of drug discovery and you want to find a precise treatment for a certain patient, you are going to give to a classical computer the tasks of data organization, simple calculations, simple simulations. But then when it's time to understand how that particular drug is going to operate at a molecular level, you're going to give that task to a quantum computer to execute. And then the results are going to be processed by the classical computer, just to give you an idea. A second scenario is quantum AI. As I mentioned before, using classical computers, traditional computers, to train very large neural networks is extremely resource intensive. So if you have algorithms, AI algorithms that are powered by quantum, you can use the quantum computer to sift through large volumes of data and then provide a better training mechanism than just using classical computers alone. Finally, an interesting combination that is not very obvious to everybody. It's using AI to improve quantum computers. As I mentioned before, quantum computers are hard and expensive to build. They are sensitive to noise. You need to do a lot of strategies around error suppression. AI can help in detecting those potential errors and mitigating them in a faster way. AI can also provide better design and define better how the circuits of a quantum computer will operate. So in essence, not only quantum computer can make AI better and more affordable, AI can make quantum computers more effective. So let's now think about how bringing all those three technologies together can impact real-world cases, real-world applications. In healthcare with quantum AI, as I mentioned, we can accelerate drug discovery, giving to the classical computers the basic tasks and quantum computers the most complex tasks in order to accelerate molecules and components and materials for scientists. The effectiveness at the molecular level that you can obtain by using quantum is a major factor in order to achieve that. Finance with quantum AI. You can significantly optimize risk management capabilities, detect fraud much faster and much more accurately than what you do today with traditional algorithms, and finally propose investment strategies that are more personalized and more effective to your clients. In climate and quantum AI can significantly improve the climate prediction models that we have today, and I believe that this can be a real breakthrough to support governments and agencies in preparing for potential disasters, mitigating the impact of climate change. In supply chains, quantum and AI can significantly improve the logistics, the operations of a supply chain, predict demand better, and optimize and reduce waste, really implementing a true circular supply chain model that is going to be fundamental for us to achieve our environmental sustainable goals. Finally, in insurance an industry that is going to be suffering more and more pressure due to the uncertain times that we're all living in. You can improve your customer satisfaction by providing better policies that are more contextualized, better designed, taking into consideration the concentration of risk, and you can help in the protection of potential catastrophes and mortality scenarios. So let me give you a few examples of how we are working with companies around the world to advance their research using the combination of all these technologies. Moderna, I think we all know, a biopharmaceutical company that was at the center of developing the vaccines for the COVID-19. They have announced a partnership with us, which is a perfect example of how you combine artificial intelligence with quantum. They're using a foundation model for AI that really looks at the behavior of molecules and how the impact of messenger RNA, which is the technology that they use to develop drugs, can have at the molecular level. And as part of this collaboration, they are also training and enabling their scientists to understand how to use quantum computers to take the best advantage of them when they become commercially viable. ExxonMobil has been working in how to improve and optimize the logistics around transporting liquefied natural gas. As we all know, a critical source of energy that powers the most important manufacturing systems around the world. It's a very complex resource to be transported. And for you to plan for demand on a global supply chain for that type of resource, you need to account for the position of each ship, each day, in order to address the particular demand in a certain area. That process involves millions of discrete decisions that involve simulations of routing that could exceed, in terms of number, the amount of atoms that exist in the universe. So you cannot do that with traditional computing alone, and that's why the ExxonMobil Corporate Strategic Research Team has been working with us to map all the maritime inventory of routes into a device, a quantum device, in order to account for those simulations. So in summary, the future of computing is not about choosing one paradigm over the other. It's really about combining all those capabilities to build a very powerful hybrid model. And while there are still challenges for us to address, for example, the challenges around error mitigation in quantum, how to make AI models more interpretable, how to make classical computers more efficient, the combination of those technologies can really transform the world around us and solve problems that until today didn't seem to have a solution. And at IBM, we have been investing in all these three technologies for decades now, because we don't believe that there's just going to be one paradigm. All of them will continue to be critical to the success of humanity. And to conclude, we have seen in this presentation how the combination of power technologies can, by interacting, can supercharge each other and leverage each other. But we cannot forget that at the center of all this, we are going to have the human beings. And human beings will work alongside those technologies to improve their capabilities, to become smarter, to become better. And they will only be able to do that if they have the right education. And at this moment, I invoke Atatürk's vision, who really, as part of his strategy for the country, envisioned the need of creating a skill base to support the evolution, both from economic standpoint, but also societal standpoint, making education available to boys and girls, men and women equally. What a great example of inclusion for us to draw upon as we think about and as we define what's next for society. Because to be future ready, it's a lot about technology, but it's also about values and education. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today.